Thanks for joining us, Paul. Woohoo! And say hello to my good buddy Ken from New York. Hey, Ken. Thanks for joining us.
Ken, you rock.
And we've got somebody here called We and Jade. I have no idea who that is. We and Jade, where are you from?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Send me a little message there.
We and Jade.
We
It's
and
cool.
Jade.
We like you.
Where are you from, We and Jade? Send us a message. Send us a chat. All right. Well, back on stage here, here at the American Ale House, we are once again after hours. Of course, because Andy's here. I don't know where Nate is, though. Nate was the party last week. He's out there. Paul said he's from the far side of the moon. All right, Andy's going to do, or no, Leon's going to do some stuff, and Don's going to do some percussion and whatever else Don does. Take it away, Leon. Woo! Paul says, yay, Leon.
I remember when Mary Lou said you wanna walk me home from school. Well, I said, yes I do. You said, you don't have to go right home. I would kinda like to be alone some if you would. I said, me too. And so we took a stroll, wound up down by the swimming hole. She said, do what you wanna do. Got silly and I found a frog in the water by a hollow log, and I shook it at her and said, this frog for you. She said, I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. Ruby good. I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. Like I wanna be loved by you. Well, I think of that girl from time to time. I call her up when I got a dime. I say, hello, baby. She says, ain't you cool? Do you remember when, and would you like to get together again? She said, I'll see you after school. I was shy and so for a while. Most of my love was touch and smile. But she said, come on over here. I was nervous as you might guess, still looking for something to slip down her dress. But she said, let's make it perfectly clear. And she said, I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. Ooh, be cool. I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to love me. Like I wanna be loved by you. Oh.
Thanks for staying with us all night, Sonia. Thanks for joining us, Paul and Ken. And Paul, you sounded awesome as always. Thanks for gracing my open mic stage with your presence and your entertainment. you got to do Secret Agent Man for Andy before he goes. We're glad you liked it, Pawpaw.
There's a man who leads a life of danger. To everyone he meets he stays a stranger. To every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. Beware of pretty faces that you find. A pretty face can hide an evil mind. Be careful what you say, you'll give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. And they've taken away your name. Swinging on the Riviera one day, lying in a Bombay alley next day, you let the wrong word slip while kissing persuasive lips. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. Secret agent man.
Leon rocks. What else does he got? This guy knows more songs than were ever written. Say goodnight to Andy, everybody. Good night, Andy. Thanks for coming out. I'm sorry Nate didn't come up and sing with you tonight. I'm disappointed. Yeah, Andy's actually playing next week with other people. You'll be drinking lots of green beer next week. Good night.
Ever go back into Woolly Swamp, well, you better not go at night. Things out there in the middle of it will make a strong man die with fright. Things that crawl, things that fly, things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of illusions play gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. Cause I never would listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. Some things in this world you just can't explain. Old man lived in Woolly Swamp way back in Booker Woods. Never did do a lot of harm in the world, but he never did do no good. People didn't think too much of him. They all thought he acted funny. The old man didn't care about people anyway. All he cared about was his money. He'd stuff it all down into mason jars and he'd bury it all around. And on certain nights when the moon was right, he'd dig it up out of the ground. He'd pour it all out on the floor of his shack and he'd run his fingers through it. Yeah, Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, that's all there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. Some things in this world you just can't explain. Gave the boys was white trash. He lived over on Carver's Creek. They's mean as a snake and sneaky as a cat and belligerent when they'd speak. One night the oldest brother said, "Y'all meet me in Woolly Swamp later. We'll take old Lucius's money and we'll feed him to the alligators." But they found the old man out in the back with a shovel in his hand. 13 rusty mason jars just dug up that second. But they all went crazy when they beat the old man, then picked him up off the ground. Threw him in the swamp and he stood there and laughed as the black water sucked him down. But they all turned around, went back to the shack, then they picked up the money and ran. Hadn't gone nowhere when they realized he's running in quicksand. With a struggle and a scream, but they couldn't get away. And just before they went under, you could hear that old man laugh, and the voice as loud as thunder. And now that's been 50 years ago. You can go by there yet. There's a spot in the yard in the back of that shack where the ground is always wet. And on certain nights when the moon is right, down by that dark footpath, you can hear 3 young men screaming, and you can hear one old man laughing. But I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I never would listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. Some things in this world you just can't explain. Yeah, there's some things in this world you just can't explain.